go to a city, I have a rule. If I have time, if I can see a mountain, I always run to the top of it. I don't have typical days. Professional musician. I also teach music, and I'm a huge running nerd, to the extreme, I would say.
If you're doing a long run, you have to have like delicious hot chicken afterward.
No hot chicken beforehand, afterward.
Definitely afterwards. We have a really vibrant running community. There's a lot of musicians that run. I got into running basically as an overweight musician. I was just like kind of living that lifestyle, drinking too much and sleeping too little and eating crappy food. And what kind of punctuated was I broke my ankle really badly when I was 24. So my feet were, this right ankle was hanging off like this. They had to reconstruct it, surgery, you know, pins and screws and all that stuff. And the recovery took like a full year. And as I was recovering, it dawned on me, I was like, man, I'm a young man and I've taken my mobility totally for granted my whole life. I would never go on a walk. Like, I would never just leave the house and go walk, you know what I mean? That sounded crazy to me. My dad introduced me to running when I was 12. He took me out to Percy Winter Park and, you know, made me run my first mile. You know, I was like getting chubby and he wanted to introduce me to a sport or something. And it didn't really stick when I was younger. So as I was recovering, it dawned on me, it was like, okay, well, there's that running thing that I tried when I was a kid, and that was actually not so bad. So if I can run a mile, man, I will never stop running. You know, maybe 8 or 9 months to a year after the surgery. It's kind of blurry now, but I was on the road, and I remember before the show, I put on my shoes and went and jogged a mile around the parking lot, what I thought was a mile. At that point, I was going on songs, so it was like 3 or 4 songs on my iPod, and it pretty much went off without a hitch. So Nashville, we have a really vibrant running community. It's so there's East Nasty, which is a huge running group with upwards sometimes of 200 people every Wednesday. We have trail groups. We have nighttime trail groups. I have a running group called Green Hills Run Club that has grown from 2 or 3 members to 50 members every week in the span of 8 months. So Nashville really caught the upward that kind of mid-aughts running boom. Like, we caught the fever, man.
How many pairs did you want? It's like
Hey guys, can I get your attention real quick? In the back. Hey, that almost kind of worked. I'm getting better at this.
So this is my run group, Green Hills Run Club at Fleet Feet Sports in Green Hills. We meet every Monday at 6 o'clock and go for a little run, drink free craft beer after the run, and honestly it's a lot of fun. Mixed group, different kinds of paces, women, men, all different races. It's just a beautiful thing. And my wife and kid are here today actually too, which is fun. for being here. Run Club and No Boundaries together. I guess we're about ready to get going. Are you guys ready? Awesome. Let's do it. Back one's on? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's do it! Right, Quinn? Sorry, let's do it!
So Warner Parks is very dear to my heart. I call it the sanctuary, and actually some other people are now calling it the sanctuary. It is a wildlife sanctuary, but for me, I literally go there to pray and practice every weekend that I'm in town. If you're an outdoors enthusiast, like, it's the place to go in Nashville, bar none. And we have other great parks too, but Warner is like king of them for sure. And yeah, there's a lot of musicians that run. It's funny, there's a kind of a sub-thread for me between. So I have the running world and the things I do in running, and I have music, and it is a bit of a Venn diagram where there are certain people and key figures in the middle of that are kind of, they think the same way I do, and a lot of them do show up to my Monday night run group. A lot of them go to East Nasty. It's like acting. I mean, we have to be fit. So even if you kind of ignore the spiritual and mental health component to running, if you just look at it from vanity's sake, it makes sense that musicians should be out running and or doing something to keep themselves active and stay, in shape. The cool thing about Nashville is when you train here, you train through like serious heat and humidity and pretty serious hills. So we pride ourselves on, when it comes fall marathon time or ultra or half marathon or whatever, you're so fit because all of a sudden, right as you're peaking, the temperatures cool down. And you have all that strength from struggling through the summer.
One, two, three, four. That's the way you gotta do it too, man. If you're doing a long run, you have to have like delicious hot chicken afterwards. It's like almost a natural tradition.
No hot chicken beforehand, afterwards.
Definitely after.
Yeah.
I've done it before if you want some inspiration to like get out there and finish quickly.
Yeah. And then as far as Nashville hot chicken goes, it's a place to go.
I mean, this is one of the only places where like I think tourists and locals kind of intersect because it's just really good.
Got to find a home. Got to hit your heart.
I think when we move, we're gonna, and hopefully I'll keep racing, so we'll be able to expand this a little bit more. But for now, we kind of keep my medals right here. First 50 mile, and these are my 100 mile buckles. That was Arkansas Traveler, my first one 2 years ago. But yeah, I'm really proud. Sometimes I walk by here and late at night and just kind of pause and think about each race and all the crazy stuff that happened. These are my HOKA Bondies. I finished Pine to Palm 100 in these, so they have kind of special significance to me. There is nothing like that kind of stack height when you're 80 miles into a 100 miler. We were joking around, like in trail running, I think it's kind of frowned upon to have like really fresh looking shoes, but as like one of the only black trail runners I know, I just try to, you gotta have fresh shoes, so I don't apologize for that. I clean them. This is my daughter, Wendell. We call her Winnie. She's asleep in the back right now. But this picture was taken when she was 17 hours old. I think we were engaged then. We've been married for a year and a half. She's my hero. She does most of the hard work with as far as the newborn goes. You know, I work in running, I work in music, so several jobs within running, social media marketing. I lead a running group, and then I work at Fleet Feet in the store. I teach college level music at David Lipscomb University. I do sessions and play live on the weekends, and then I train for ultramarathons, and I have a family. So, you know, if I have to prioritize the run that day, it might be waking up at 4 o'clock to go get in 2 hours at the park, then go to my first job, and then go to Lipscomb to teach, and it's just balance. This is actually my main base. I've refurbed it a couple times. A lot of that scarring is actually mine. I've played this almost exclusively for about 10 years. So I played with James Otto, Billy Currington. I've done things with Megan Trainor, Steven Tyler, Brett Eldridge, Leanne Rimes, Zach Brown, and that's all been on that base. We are at the studio on East Iris Drive. East Iris and this whole kind of, they call this Berry Hill. A lot of the music you hear out of Nashville comes out of this area. So like across the street is House of Blues Studios. That was once in Memphis. I've actually tracked there when it was in Memphis, which is kind of funny. They just picked it up and put it on a truck and dropped it off here, which is rad. But basically every house you see here is pretty much a recording studio or some sort of music industry office. My buddy Tyler Kane kind of rents, owns the studio with his buddy Brad. That's his Airstream, actually. But Tyler and I were in 2 rock bands for upwards of 13 years. The last one was called the Waylon Canes, and we toured for like 10 years. So yeah, we're just, you know, best friends. He was my best man at my wedding. And so today we're going to be tracking for his girlfriend, Megan Lindsay, who was a top finalist from The Voice, and a great pop artist, great person. So kind of right now I was thinking like a...
Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah, yeah, that's nice. You gonna try slapping like that?
Yeah.
Did you just sing chorus again?
Yeah.
Soul shining